How's it hanging, Phil?
Oh, wow. I'm actually doing pretty good. It's going pretty well. Thanks for asking, Chucky. That means a lot. Are you doing all right? Jeez. Okay. Well, I'm sorry I asked.
Greetings, salutations, hello, fellow nations. My name is Phil, and that, of course, is Phil with one L. And as you may have gathered from previous videos, I love scary movies. One of my favorite horror franchises being the Child's Play films. As totally inconsistent as the series has been, I still enjoy every single one of the films and the sci fi show too. It had a solid start, even if it didn't quite stick its inevitable landing. It's impossible not to know anything about Chucky, as many have tried to recreate the success of these movies. And after years and years, he always finds a way to come back, becoming both a horror and pop culture mainstay. Charles Lee Ray has found himself in the center of his own films, television, comic books, and the occasional video game. Did you know that in 2013, we almost got a stealth action hack and slash video game featuring the not so good guy doll? A Kickstarter campaign was posted by the company Tick Games in an effort to secure nearly $1 million for the development of the PC version of the game, with the intention of later releasing console versions. Reportedly, they already had $500,000 and the rights to publish, but they needed more money to do what they wanted for the gamers. They could barely raise a few $100s, though, leading to the project's unfortunate cancellation. But a prototype of the canceled game was found and uploaded on the Internet Archive, making it to some extent playable. We also had Chucky Slash and Dash, which was the killer doll's equivalent to Temple Run and Subway Surfers. It's cool that he was added to Dead by Daylight a couple years ago, but we've had games for Saw, Evil Dead, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Blair Witch, and even Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Yet somehow the most infamous scary toy in cinema history hasn't had his own title. So today I'd like to fix that because we need a Chucky video game. In my vision, the game should be a toy-focused mascot horror a la Alien Isolation. If you never played Alien Isolation, you play as a traveler trying to survive on board a ship that contains a rogue xenomorph that is piloted by two AIs, one that knows where you are and one that doesn't, and they're both working together to find you, making for a very terrifying gameplay experience. Essentially, it observes how you play and adapts. If you spend most of your missions hiding, then the xenomorph will start to look for you in all the places you could possibly be in. I think it would be great to use this game engine for a Chucky video game, where you play as a character trying to survive in an isolated setting and escape while evading the killer doll at every turn. As you stealthily traverse the map and look for resources, Chucky could be crawling through the vents and hiding in cabinets, waiting to pounce at any moment. I mean, how terrifying would it be as a player to run from Chucky and hide in a closet, only to find that he's already there waiting for you, knife in hand? This would actually work really well for a Michael Myers game too, now that I think about it. Huh. Most horror games based on films tend to create original characters within the canon of their respective franchises, and I thought about doing something similar. However, I love it when games are used to shine a light on characters that other mediums haven't paid much attention to, so I thought it'd be more interesting to bring back survivors of the franchise that could be fleshed out. No pun intended. Especially because Chucky loves to get revenge. One of my favorite through lines of the series is Chucky making his way down the list of people who have screwed him over.
I'm gonna get you, and I'm gonna get Eddie, no matter what!
And Ronald Tyler from Child's Play 3 would definitely be somewhere on this list. And after 30 years of saying no, Jeremy Silvers has started making appearances at cons and publicly stating that he would love to come back. And Don Mancini has had a penchant for bringing back characters from the earlier films, so I don't think it would be too far out of the realm of possibility. Hey, Editor Phil with 1L here. I just found out about the legal issues that this actor had in the past, which didn't come up until I was trying to find pictures of him. So I'm unsure if he'd ever be brought back to this franchise. I mean, Jeremy genuinely seems to be doing better now, which is nice, I guess. But yeah, I still end up using him, or his character, so to say, in this pitch because the plot I wrote still stands on its own, maybe even with a potential recast. And so the story of my game would revolve around an older Ronald Tyler who has settled down with a family. His quiet suburban peace is disrupted, however, when his daughter is gifted a good guy doll for her birthday, devolving their world into absolute terror. Not only am I surrounding the game around the victims instead of the doll to differentiate it from the canceled game concept, but I also feel that a Chucky game where you play as the antagonist wouldn't translate well from the films. Like, I know we love to laugh at him and it's fun to hear him quip, but Chucky should also be scary. And if we don't have that, we're kind of losing the core point of the series. We also have a ton of games where you play as the killer, so I wanted to at least try to diversify the roster a little bit. So I guess this would qualify more as a child's play game rather than a Chucky game. You could have the first setting be their home, where you find yourself evading Chucky, who, similar to Alien Isolation, is stalking the halls and crawling in the walls, much like he did in the first Child's Play film. I would even love to do a Five Nights at Freddy's 4 style level where you play as one of Ronald's kids, guarding your bedroom from Chucky, who decides to go on the prowl at night. After failing to take out Ronald a few times, he could go after Ronald's kids, giving a change of setting by having him follow them all the way to school, which could serve as a really cool nod to Child's Play 2. Here, you have Ronald's daughter staying after school, waiting for her dad to pick her up, but also finding herself evading both hall monitors and the bloodthirsty wrath of the Lakeshore Strangler. Narrowly passing teachers and staff could serve as a way of slowing him down, as Chucky has to freeze like a weeping angel to avoid being caught by them. You can find your own weapons like school gym equipment, an emergency axe, or a fire extinguisher like how Alien Isolation eventually gives you a scanner and a flamethrower to defend yourself. And who is Chucky without Tiffany? So maybe to make things more difficult for the player, you add her into the mix and now you're running from two killer dolls. Again, similar to Alien Isolation, you can hide from the enemy. In this setting, you could hide under desks and in lockers and pray that Chucky and or Tiffany doesn't find you before your dad does. It'd also be really funny to have him trailing behind you with a yardstick like Baldi's Basics. The game's final showdown could take place at a good guy doll factory, which would be another nod to Child's Play 2. Running around this maze of plastic and heavy machinery, I think, makes for a good horror game setting, which is actually a proven concept when you look at something like the Poppy Playtime series. A newer addition to the Child's Play mythos is that Chucky can inhabit multiple dolls at the same time. So in this final battle, our characters find themselves going up against an army of good guy dolls, and possibly other humans as well. And for those of you who still aren't satisfied because you really want to play as the homicidal kids toy and definitely don't need to go to therapy, we could add a DLC similar to the game Naughty Bear, where here you play as a rogue good guy doll that goes on a killing spree, murdering a bunch of other Chuckies, either because of a change of heart or for your own personal gain. I think this in particular is a really cool idea because you switch things up by putting the player in the size 4 shoes of the hack and sack slasher, but also because we know from the show that Chucky clones are able to develop their own personalities and goals, which is a concept that doesn't fully get explored, but I think would be fun to delve into here. In terms of the title, you could just call it Chucky the video game, or Child's Play the video game, I guess would be more apt. Kind of go for that nostalgic simplicity that a lot of games in this vein go for. But if you wanted to make this stand out by giving it an original subtitle, I came up with Chucky till the end.
Andy, no, please. We're friends to the end, remember?
This is the end, friend.
I actually really like that title. I hope no one steals it. With the cancellation of the TV series, Don Mancini has said there are plans for the franchise to continue, but currently the future of the series is uncertain. And I think a video game entry would be the perfect way to revitalize and shake things up. There's so many places you could go with a game set in this world that it kind of blows my mind we haven't gotten anything already. I mean, look how easy it was for me to come up with something, and I don't even really play video games like that, especially scary games. I'm not a gamer. I wouldn't use the G word per se because I think it's really, really wrong. Yeah. If you understood that reference, you're a real one. But hey, I guess, at least we have Chucky's Killer Pinball. One thing's for certain though, if Mithrigan gets a video game before Chucky does, I might actually lose my mind. So that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Would you play this game, or do you have your own ideas for a Chucky video game? And are there any other horror franchises that you think deserve their own video game? Let me know down in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And please remember, at the end of the day, every day, it's all good. And if it's not right now, I promise it's going to be. Take care, Nomies. I'll see you in the next one.